On a sunny December afternoon in 2022, tragedy struck the quiet community of Snellville, Georgia. Courtney Owens, a successful 34-year-old businesswoman, was found dead at her workplace, sending shockwaves through the local community. The incident would soon reveal a dark story of betrayal involving her former boyfriend and business partner, Stoney Williams. Snellville, a peaceful suburb located just 18 miles from Atlanta, typically sees very little violent crime. According to recent statistics, its crime rate of 14.9 per 1,000 residents is significantly lower than both the state average of 26.3 and the national average of 22.7, making this incident particularly shocking for local residents. Courtney had built her life from scratch, working tirelessly to create a successful car dealership business. As a single mother to a 12-year-old son, she balanced family responsibilities with her entrepreneurial dreams, determined to create a better future for her family. Those who knew her described her as kind-hearted, ambitious, and always willing to help others. Together with her then-boyfriend Stoney Williams, Courtney had established a thriving car dealership that became known for its flexible financing options. Their business model specifically catered to customers with challenging credit situations, offering creative solutions like down payment matching and special financing programs. By 2022, their dealership had become one of the most popular in the area, serving hundreds of satisfied customers. The dealership's success was partly due to their strong social media presence, where they regularly posted updates about their inventory and shared customer success stories. Their marketing approach was personal and engaging, often featuring videos of them helping customers find their perfect vehicle. The business had grown steadily, with their annual revenue reaching approximately $2.5 million by 2022. However, when Courtney and Stoney's romantic relationship ended, their business partnership became strained. What started as a success story of two entrepreneurs building their dreams together would eventually take a devastating turn, leading to an unthinkable tragedy that would leave a young son without his mother and a community in mourning. The car dealership that Courtney and Stoney ran became known for its simple approach to car sales. Unlike traditional dealerships that required strong credit scores, they focused on making car ownership possible for everyone. Their main requirement was a valid driver's license and a down payment, which made their business stand out in the Atlanta area. What really set their business apart was their innovative double down payment program. When customers brought in a down payment, the dealership would match it, effectively doubling the initial investment. This unique approach attracted hundreds of customers and helped generate substantial revenue. According to business records, this strategy helped them achieve a remarkable 300% growth in sales within just 1 year. By 2022, Royal Court Motors had become one of the most successful independent car dealerships in Gwinnett County. Their customer-friendly approach and creative financing solutions helped them build a loyal customer base, with an estimated 80% of their business coming from word-of-mouth referrals. The dealership's success seemed unstoppable, with plans for expansion already in the works. However, everything changed on that fateful Friday afternoon of December the 9th, 2022. It started as a typical day at Royal Court Motors, with Courtney arriving at the dealership around 2:30 p.m. to handle the day's business. The weather was mild, around 65 degrees, and the dealership was expecting a busy afternoon of customers. Within minutes of her arrival, tragedy struck. Witnesses later told police that an unknown person entered the dealership and confronted Courtney. What appeared to be a robbery quickly turned deadly when the assailant forced her to the ground. Despite having security cameras installed just 3 months prior, the brutal attack happened so quickly that no one could intervene. Local police received the emergency call at 2:43 p.m. and arrived at the scene within 4 minutes. Despite their quick response, they found Courtney with a fatal gunshot wound to the head. Emergency medical services pronounced her dead at the scene at 3:02 p.m. The shocking incident left investigators with numerous questions. Was this really just a robbery gone wrong? Or was there something more sinister behind this seemingly senseless act of violence? When detectives arrived at the crime scene, their first priority was notifying Stoney Williams, Courtney's business partner and former boyfriend. He arrived at Royal Court Motors that evening, appearing visibly shaken as investigators walked him through the crime scene. The initial interview with Stoney lasted approximately 3 hours, during which he claimed to have no knowledge of who might want to harm Courtney. The investigation began with reviewing security footage and interviewing witnesses who reported seeing a man running from the dealership shortly after the shooting. The suspect was described as being in his early 20s, approximately 5'9" tall, wearing dark clothing. While some witnesses suggested this might have been a robbery gone wrong, investigators noted several unusual aspects of the crime that didn't fit the typical pattern of dealership robberies. For the first 30 days, the case moved slowly despite the police following multiple leads. The community was particularly invested in finding answers, as Courtney had built a reputation for helping others through her business. Local residents organized candlelight vigils, and a reward fund for information grew to $25,000 through community donations. A breakthrough came when police arrested 23-year-old Wesley Vickers in January 2023. During questioning, Vickers revealed a disturbing story that changed the entire direction of the investigation. According to his statement, this was not a random act of violence or a robbery gone wrong. It was a carefully planned murder-for-hire scheme. Vickers told investigators that Stoney Williams had orchestrated the entire plot, offering him $20,000 to kill Courtney. The plan was meticulously designed to appear as a robbery, with $5,000 paid up front, and an arrangement for Vickers to collect the remaining $15,000 from Stoney's pocket during the staged crime. Analysis of phone records would later show 47 calls between Vickers and Williams in the week leading up to the murder. Perhaps most shocking was Vickers' revelation about an earlier incident. He claimed that Williams had previously paid him $4,800 to send a message by shooting at a house in Fairburn where Courtney was staying with a friend. Police records confirmed a drive-by shooting at that address 3 weeks before the murder, though no one was injured in that incident. This earlier attack suggested a pattern of escalating violence that ultimately led to Courtney's death. The investigation took a significant turn when Wesley Vickers revealed additional details about the murder plan. According to police records, security footage from the dealership was mysteriously missing from the day of the shooting. Investigators later discovered that the cameras had been deliberately disabled. In an unexpected twist, Vickers admitted that he had planned to double-cross Stoney Williams by killing him too, but Williams hadn't shown up to the dealership that day as planned. Following Vickers' arrest and confession, police immediately moved to apprehend Stoney Williams. However, Williams had already fled the area, prompting the Gwinnett County Police Department to launch a widespread manhunt. They released his photos across multiple media platforms, including local news stations and social media, where the posts reached over 100,000 shares within 48 hours. The search for Williams revealed that he had been living under various fake names. Police discovered he had used at least 5 different aliases in 3 states, making the search more challenging. Their investigation uncovered a trail of fraudulent documents, including driver's licenses and credit cards under different names, suggesting this wasn't his first time evading authorities. After an extensive 4-month search spanning multiple states, U.S. Marshals finally caught up with Williams in Houston, Texas. He was found living in a small apartment complex under yet another false identity, working at a local car wash. The authorities quickly arranged his extradition back to Georgia to face justice for orchestrating Courtney's murder. However, the legal proceedings took an unexpected turn that shocked many. Despite facing multiple serious charges, including malice murder, Williams struck a plea deal with prosecutors. The terms of this agreement resulted in him serving only 11 months in jail, the time he had already spent in custody, followed by 10 years of probation. In contrast, Wesley Vickers, who pulled the trigger, received a life sentence for first-degree murder. The controversial plea deal sparked outrage in the community, with many questioning the justice system's handling of the case, while some legal experts suggested that prosecutors might have been pressured by approaching speedy trial deadlines. The Gwinnett County District Attorney's Office maintained that the plea agreement was the best possible outcome given the available evidence. They also stated that Courtney's family had been consulted and had reluctantly approved the deal, though many family members later expressed their disappointment publicly. When asked about the plea deal, Garner said he didn't know why prosecutors chose this option instead of going to trial. But defense attorney Rob Booker explained to WSB that prosecutors had missed their deadline, which led to the plea agreement. This news deeply upset Courtney Owens' friends, who couldn't accept that Stoney Williams wouldn't spend any time in prison for his actions. The funeral for Courtney was filled with sadness and anger. Her loved ones struggled to understand how someone could kill her just for money. They spoke about her role as a loving mother and how unfair it was that her young son would grow up without her. Courtney's mother revealed she had only met Stoney twice before all this happened. She knew him as her daughter's business partner at the car dealership, but couldn't understand why he would want to harm Courtney. During the funeral services, no one mentioned Stoney's name, a clear sign of how they felt about him. Before his arrest, Stoney had created a Facebook page to remember Courtney. He posted pictures from their trips together and wrote about how special she was, calling her an earth angel who made everyone's lives better. He wrote about missing her, which later seemed false given what happened. Looking back, it's clear that Courtney believed in Stoney completely. She worked hard on both their romantic relationship and their business, never thinking he could hurt her. This makes the betrayal even worse, as she had put her full trust in him.